What is up, guys? Lone Hawk here today, and welcome back to the channel. Recently, the Trinity Force League of Legends podcast decided to hold auditions for their new Overwatch podcast, and I decided to enter. Their question that you had to audition to was, is Overwatch ready to be an esport? Well, here's my response. Since its release just a short while ago, Overwatch has already seen some tournament and competitive play. Blizzard has made it quite clear that they want Overwatch to be played at the competitive level. But is it ready? Well, in my opinion, the answer is yes and no. If you're wondering if the game is ready to be an esport at this very instant, then I don't think so. The game was just released, so I don't think it's unreasonable to say that it needs some balance passes. In its current form, the game heavily favors the attacking team in organized play. Due to this, some of the tournaments that have taken place already have essentially come down to a coin toss to determine which team is attacking. This, however, can all be fixed. Patches can be made and heroes can be tweaked, but being an esport is much more than that. I think Blizzard did a great job of taking successful elements from other esports and bringing them to Overwatch. The first element I think Blizzard captured correctly, and arguably the most important one, is the need for skill. Some of the biggest esports like Hearthstone, Dota, League of Legends, and CSGO all require massive amounts of skill from players. Albeit different types of skill, they all require something a little bit more than the average player can give. Overwatch is no different. We don't know who they are now, but in the future, pro players will emerge and show that they are better than the average players, by a significant margin. What I think sets Overwatch apart, and what I think will make it a great esport, is that it accepts a very wide variety of skill sets. You don't just need players that can aim. You need people that can think on the fly, or strategize, or do even more than that. This game will allow for so much more, a wider variety of skill sets into the competitive scene, whereas games like CSGO may require a more refined skill set, one that is similar across all players. In esports currently, I feel like professional teams look for players that can perform predefined strategies, whatever's in the meta, the best. I feel like due to its dynamic nature, pro teams for Overwatch will look for people that will change the meta, that will bring new strategies to the team, and will redefine the way the game is played. I'm not saying this doesn't happen already in current esports, I'm just saying I don't see a lot of it, and I think Overwatch can bring a new element to the esports scene that no game really has capitalized on before. But being an esport is a lot more than just skill. Being an esport means people have to want to watch the game, people have to understand what is going on. Once again, I feel like Blizzard did a great job of really capturing this aspect of esports. You know, the entry barrier for a game like Dota 2 is pretty high, not gonna lie. You can't just pick up Dota 2 in one night. However, with Overwatch, you kind of can. You can get a grasp of what the game is, understand all the heroes in probably one night, and still have room to improve. The skill floor is quite low. There are pretty easy heroes for people to play, and what's great is the skill ceiling is still really high. In essence, the game should be easy to learn, but hard to master, and Overwatch does this exactly. A small thing to also note here is that the game is very visually appealing as well. Games like CSGO and League run on pretty old engines. While they receive facelifts every once in a while, they don't look as good as modern games could. Overwatch looks great. When you run on a high-end computer, which every single pro scene game will be run on, the game looks engaging. It looks like something that you'd want to watch. It's colorful, it's pretty, the art style is really nice, and people are going to be engaged and they're going to see it and want to know what is going on. Because we can't forget, the largest part of an esport is the spectators who watch it. Esports wouldn't be able to run or function or receive the funding necessary if they weren't watched by people like you and me. So by being visually appealing, easy to learn, the game Overwatch is almost the perfect example of what an esport should be. Overwatch also succeeds in areas that other attempted esports fail because of their similarities to current esports. There aren't really any new FPS esports that are taking off due to games like CSGO and Call of Duty already being around. You don't see too many MOBAs entering the scene either because we already have Dota 2 and League of Legends. Overwatch, while being an FPS, is also strategy driven. And it's not like any game before it, except for maybe Team Fortress 2, but that game was released 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago, people. As far as I'm concerned, Overwatch can be considered a new type of game that people really haven't experienced before. Some would argue that because of this, the fact that it is a new esport, a new experience for players, there is a chance it might fail. And that's true with everything new. Everything new might fail. However, this game is made by Blizzard, the people who made StarCraft, the people who made Hearthstone. These people aren't new to the esports scene, and they want this game to take off as an esport. So even though it might not be ready at this very instant, the framework is. And with community support plus developer involvement, the game Overwatch can be a new esport experience the world has yet to see.